The night the world looked up. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine it's Christmas Eve, 1968. The world is tired. There's war in Vietnam. Protests are exploding in the streets. Political chaos is shaking every corner of American life. It is a year overflowing with loss, pain, and division. But tonight, something different is happening. On televisions across the world, in quiet living rooms, crowded bars, noisy dorms, lonely apartments, military bases, and church halls, millions of people stare upward at the same glowing screen, united for the first time in months by sheer wonder. They watch three tiny human figures orbit the moon, Apollo 8, humanity's first journey beyond Earth's cradle. A fragile spacecraft floating 240,000 miles from home, turning slowly over a gray, lifeless world no person has ever seen so closely. And tonight, on Christmas Eve, the crew will send a message that will echo across history. This is the story of the night Earth heard a voice from the darkness of space. A night unlike any other. A day in history. The world before the message. To understand why this moment mattered, you have to remember what 1968 looked like down on Earth. Cities were burning. Assassinations had shaken the nation. A war with no end consumed headlines and hearts. Fear, frustration, and exhaustion tightened around households like a cold fist. America was hurting. The world was hurting. Hope felt distant, dim, nearly forgotten. And yet, high above the chaos, NASA was preparing something daring, something no human had ever attempted, something that seemed almost impossible. After the tragic Apollo 1 fire, a disaster that killed astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee, the entire program staggered. Engineers questioned everything they believed about safety. Astronauts wondered if the dream of reaching the moon was slipping further away with every passing month. And the rest of the world wondered if the United States had already lost the space race for good. So NASA made a decision so bold, so risky, that even some inside the agency hesitated to say it aloud. We were going to send Apollo 8 around the moon. No practice mission, no test flight, no backup plan. Just three men, a rocket, and faith that human courage could overcome human fear. The crew, 3 men and a mission, their names were Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders. Borman, the commander, steady and controlled, the spine of the mission. Lovell, calm under pressure, destined for Apollo 13 in just 2 years. Anders, analytical and sharp, the man who would capture one of the most iconic photographs in history. These 3 men climbed into a spacecraft so small, so cramped, that even turning their heads took effort. They knew the risks. They understood the stakes. A single miscalculation could send them crashing into the moon, or drifting forever into the void. But still they went, because some journeys must be taken, even when fear stands in the way. The launch, fire in the sky, December 21st, 1968. The Saturn V stands on the launch pad, a towering giant of steel, fire, and human ambition. It is the most powerful machine ever built. Family members watch with pounding hearts. Technicians hold their breath. The entire world waits. The countdown reaches 0, and then the sky ignites. A column of fire erupts beneath the rocket, shaking the earth with unimaginable force. Windows rattle, car alarms scream. People gasp as the Saturn V rises, slowly at first, then faster, then roaring upward with unstoppable momentum. Inside the capsule, the astronauts are slammed back into their seats. The vibration is violent, unrelenting. Jim Lovell later said it felt like being strapped to the tip of a giant firework. And just like that, Apollo 8 leaves Earth behind. The long, quiet space. For 3 days, they travel through the silence of space. Imagine it. No sound, no wind, no up, no down. Just blackness. Just the endless stretch of nothing and everything at once. The astronauts float inside a capsule smaller than a walk-in closet. They share food packets, joke quietly, trade stories, and stare through tiny windows at a universe most humans will never see. Then they look back at Earth, a glowing blue marble, small, fragile, beautiful. Frank Borman described it as a Christmas tree ornament hanging in the void. And somewhere on that tiny sphere, millions of people prepare to hear them speak. The moon, a world nitrogen monoxide human has seen on December 24th, Apollo 8 fires its engines and slips into lunar orbit. For the first time in human history, people are circling another world. Imagine being there. A barren surface stretches below, gray, cratered, harsh. The sunlight casts impossible, pitch-black shadows. Everything is silent. Everything is ancient. Humanity is touching the impossible. And then something extraordinary happens. Earthrise, the photo that changed U.S. As Apollo 8 sweeps around the moon's horizon, Bill Anders looks out the window and gasps. There, rising above the gray lunar landscape, is Earth, a blue and white sphere suspended over emptiness, alive, fragile, lonely. Oh my God, look at that picture. He shouts as he scrambles for the camera. He snaps the photo. Earthrise, one of the most famous images in human history. It will reshape environmental movements, human philosophy, and global awareness. Because for the first time we saw our home from a distance, and we realized how small we truly are. The Christmas Eve message. Now comes the moment that will echo through decades. It is Christmas Eve, 1968. 1 billion people, the largest audience in history up to that time, sit in silence. TV screens glow in darkened living rooms. Families lean closer. Soldiers pause on distant battlefields. Children gather around radios. Prisoners, nurses, sailors, factory workers, farmers, parents, everyone listens. Then the transmission begins. From 240,000 miles away. From 3 human beings orbiting the moon. The astronauts show the barren surface below, silent and eternal. And then they speak. Their voices are steady, calm, filled with wonder. They begin reading, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." The words drift across continents, across oceans, into homes filled with grief, celebration, fear, exhaustion, warmth, and hope. For a few minutes, the world feels united. A planet divided by war and anger sits together and listens to a message of creation and peace from the darkness of space. Anders, Lovell, Borman, each man reads a passage. Then Borman closes the broadcast with words that move the world. Good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you. All of you on the good earth. The broadcast ends. Silence fills living rooms. And for the first time in a long time, people feel something they haven't felt all year. Hope. They return the most dangerous moment. But Apollo 8 must still return home. Re-entering Earth's atmosphere is deadly. The capsule will slam into the air at 25,000 miles per hour. The friction will heat the surrounding air to thousands of degrees. The spacecraft will glow like a falling star, and for several agonizing minutes, the longest minutes of their lives, communication will drop into total silence. People across the world hold their breath, waiting, hoping, praying, then a faint crackle, a whisper of sound. The signal returns. Apollo 8 has survived. The world erupts in joy. Children jump and shout. Engineers and technicians cry openly. NASA explodes with celebration. When the capsule finally splashes down in the Pacific Ocean, the impossible becomes real. Humanity has gone to the moon and returned safely. Closing, the night we saw ourselves, the Apollo 8 Christmas Eve message did more than inspire. It transformed how we see Earth and how we see ourselves. It was a night when the world paused, not for tragedy, not for war, but for wonder. It reminded us that we share a tiny, fragile home, a world worth protecting, a world worth cherishing. On December 24, 1968, humanity heard a message from the stars, and for a brief moment we listened together. This was the night the world looked up. This was the night hope returned. This was the Apollo 8 Christmas Eve message. This was a day in history.